Alrighty. Let me just set the mood. Welcome to the Doja Room. And I'm gonna let the princess talk to y'all. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, welcome. You know what time it is.
Doing things usually you don't do, but I make the time. On the phone, after phone calling me, but I just need mine. Talk about a hard day. When you land, I'm meant to take a long day off. When you see me, girl, you know just what I want. Oh no, it's just me and you and your body. Hiding in the dark, let me find it. Give you what you want, I'm excited. Baby, when we done, can you light it? I be mean to say a thing or two, but the way you move, unexplainable. Niggas thinking that you wanna play no ball. Can't explain to you. You really have my mind on check. I'm trying to get my heart from now, but when I see you ain't there, I really gotta have you here. I'm telling you, baby, you and your body. Hiding in the dark, let me find it. Baby, what you want, I'm excited. Baby, when we done, can you light it? Really wanna show you off. Really wanna break you down. I know that your work be hard. Tonight I'ma give you my all. Yeah, work with me, baby. We converse about who working you, and I still flirt with you, babe. I slide and murk for you, babe. Fly you out the Turks with it, babe. It's just me and you and your body. Hiding in the dark, let me find it. Baby, what you want, I'm excited. Baby, when we done, can you light it? It's just me and you and your body. Hiding in the dark, let me find it. Give you what you want, I'm excited. Baby, when we done, can you light it,
Princess Ariel, vibes and highs coming soon. We here in the Doja Room. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, y'all know what the fuck is going on. It's your boy, Dope Boy Diesel. I'm in the motherfucking building. I'm back here for y'all niggas again. And we ready to get it in. We got some topics here for y'all. Oh, it looked like my girl Pros just popped in here. And I'm feeling extra opinionated today. You know what I'm saying? So last time we was here in the Doja Room, we basically chopped up a lot of what's been going on. Now I know this is a lot of political talk here in the Doja Room, but it is election year. There's a lot of misinformation and smoke and mirrors going around this motherfucker. So we really got to be on point with how we approach the next couple of months. So it's important that we do our due diligence here in the Doja Room, and we holler at you niggas and we tell y'all the facts from the fiction, because that's all that matters in the end. You know what I'm saying? So last time we was in here, you know, we broke down a little bit of, you know what I mean, Trump pulling up to the Black Journalist Conference, basically putting that whole scene on the map just because he pulled up there. He was there on the pretenses of, you know, Kamala Harris showing up there to possibly debate him and face some type of scrutiny and questioning about her policies and things like that. Now, at that time, which I feel like it would have been definitely a good thing for her to do, because she was still, at the time, a woman lacking policy. Zero to be in fact. And it's funny to see her these last couple of weeks sit here and dodge, you know, the media and anybody who wants to, you know, give her an interview. At the same time, simultaneously, we got people out here talking about she's not getting enough media coverage. Well, when she did go to Detroit and, you know, got a sizable crowd at her rally, Most of them were protesting against her. I mean, Shorty couldn't get a word out. So, as time goes on, we finally got the first bit of policy from her. And funny enough, let me just show y'all this. Funny enough, this is the first bit of policy that we get. Listen closely.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Sounds pretty good, right? Okay.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Because when I get to office, we are going...
So, what you're hearing right there is Kamala Harris blatantly, her first bit of policy is to steal something that Trump came up with. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird. It's weird to me that we got to wait for her just to come up with another nigga's idea. Thought that was a little bit funny. So we got her now popping up with some more policy, apparently. And she laid out her economic plan, basically, of what she is going to do. So finally, we're hearing some policy from Kamala Harris. We're going to listen here first because I haven't heard any of this. I'm going to see if any of this appeals to my interest or anything that I'm that I value and that I'm striving for. So let's see if which I would say before she goes on is I want somebody who's going to value the next generation. At the time of speaking, this generation is the first generation in a long time projected to do worse off than their parents. We're going to make less money. We're going to own less. We're going to, we're going to be worse off. We're going to struggle more. So I need some policy that's going to help out with that. I need some policy that's going to help out with some first-time buyers. First-time home buyers. I need policies that's going to help out with, people starting families and, black people in particular. But before I do go in on that, because it's funny, she did make the comment. Oh, let me just roll this back, because she did make the comment, if I'm not mistaken. And this is let's just go into a deep dive about a little bit of who Kamala Harris is and some of the things that she says before we even get to that. Let's just listen to this real quick.
You feel about her? House Nick, just like Barack Obama, they do what they need to do to stay close to the white power structure. She made a career locking up black people. This is the same woman who went on international television about a year or two ago and said America is not a racist country.
Lord have mercy.
You want me to go vote for a so-called black woman who went on international television and told the world that America is not a racist country? She spit in the face of the family of Trayvon Martin. She spit in the face of the family of Breonna Taylor. She spit in the face of the family of Michael Brown, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Amir Locke, Dante. We can go on and on. Tamir Rice, all the Africans murdered by police, which are state-sanctioned executions. Let us be clear. The police are agents of the state. When the police kills a black person, that is a state-sponsored execution. And in response to all this racism, the execution of George Floyd, this part-time black woman says America is not racist. My issue ain't her being mixed race. Nobody's responsible for how they come into this world. My issue with her is not identifying with her people. Somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do for black people? And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people. She said this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians? Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans? Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law only for LGBTQs? Why did y'all pass a law only for immigrants? If you can't do anything just for black people, this is what she said. It came out of her mouth. If you can't do anything just for black people, how was it possible for you and President Biden to do all these other things for specific ethnic groups in this country from whose benefit no other group can take anything from? Complete contradiction. Kamala Harris is not for black people.
Whew. Holy. Yeah. To let that soak in. So this is why I say we gotta, before we listen to whatever she is about to, you know what I'm saying, spew or whatever, we gotta be really clear in, and I gotta even make sure this is the speech itself. But before we listen to this, right, we gotta be really clear in, just because we are about to hear the first bit of policy or whatever, whatever it may be from Kamala Harris, it doesn't mean we are just going to sit here and accept anything. We made it clear, and I think most of us should make it clear, and just like you heard Umar said just now, there's certain things that we need, and the other BS is just not about to suffice. So let me play this real quick and let's get down to what she got going on.
Sharing your story, and I'm just so sorry for what your family has been through, but you have, out of an incredible tragedy, done so much for the community, and you are such a role model. So thank you, Mike, for everything you do. Thank you. And good
It gotta make
afternoon
sense.
to everyone
It gotta
here.
make sense.
Thank you to all of the incredible leaders with us today, including my friend, the Governor, Roy Cooper. Where is he? Here with his daughter.
Let's get to it.
Every time I land in North Carolina, I just literally. So listen, this election, I do strongly believe, is about two very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future, and the other, focused on the past. We see that contrast clearly in many ways, including when it comes to how we think about the economy. So our country has come a long way since President Biden and I took office. At that time, we sadly remember the millions of Americans that were out of work. We were facing one of the worst economic crises in modern history. And today, by virtually every measure, our economy is the strongest in the world. We have created 16 million new jobs. We've made historic investments in infrastructure, in chips manufacturing, in clean energy. And new numbers this week alone show that inflation is down under 3%. And as President of the United States, it will be my intention to build on the foundation of this progress. Still, we know that many Americans don't yet feel that progress.
I know she's saying inflation is down. What'd she say? 8%. But, nigga, I believe a carton of eggs just hit like $4, nigga. If I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna let her cook.
Progress in their daily lives. Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy. An opportunity economy.
Okay. Let's see what that means.
An economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Everyone, regardless of who they are or where they start, has an opportunity to build wealth for themselves and their children. And where we remove the barriers to opportunity so anyone who wants to start a business or advance their career can access the tools and the resources that are necessary to do so.
Okay. How? What are we doing about that?
I will focus on cutting needless bureaucracy and unnecessary regulatory red tape and encouraging innovative technologies while protecting consumers and creating a stable business environment with consistent and transparent rules of the road. As president, I will bring together labor with small businesses and major companies to invest in America, to create good jobs, achieve broad-based growth, and ensure that America continues to define the future and lead the world.
I'm gonna need her to get into a little bit of policy. I'm gonna need her to get into let's get into the meat and potatoes.
To creating this opportunity economy is building up our middle class. It is essential. The middle class is one of America's greatest strengths. And to protect it, then, we must defend basic principles, such as your salary should be enough to provide you and your family with a good quality of life.
Okay. We learned about that. Okay.
Such as no child should have to grow up in poverty. Such as after years of hard work, you should be able.
Okay. All of this sounds good, but let's get to what are the tangibles? Like what are the actionables?
To pass the first ever federal ban. But our supply chains have now improved. And prices are still too high. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic.
He's talking about nothing for like 10
is up
minutes.
Almost 50%. Many of the big food companies are seeing their highest profits in 2 decades. And while many grocery chains pass along these savings, others still aren't. Look, I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy, and playing by the rules. But some are not. And that's just not right. And we need to take action when that is the case. More than $1 billion for consumers. So So believe me, as president, I will go after the bad actors. And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
All right.
My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies.
So she wants to do price gouging on food. Like I just mentioned, the price of eggs, at least around where I'm at right now, is about damn near $4. Crazy. The price of milk, a gallon of milk is almost $4. I mean, yeah, I can see this being a plus. This is definitely a plus. We'll give it that one.
That exploit crises and break the rules, and we will support smaller food businesses that are trying to play by the rules and get ahead. We will help the food industry become more competitive, because I believe competition is the lifeblood of our economy. More competition means lower prices for you and your families. Now compare what Donald Trump plans to do. He wants to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that we import from other countries. That will devastate Americans. It will mean higher prices on just about every one of your daily needs. A Trump tax on gas, a Trump tax on food, a Trump tax on clothing, a Trump tax on over-the-counter medication. And you know, economists have done the math. Donald Trump's plan would cost a typical family $3,900 a year. At this moment, when everyday prices are too high, he will make them even higher. As president, I'll take on the issue of the cost of health care. As Attorney General, I took on insurance.
Okay, so she did make a claim there that basically said Trump was gonna, put a tax. I want to make sure. I just want to make sure we get that, because one thing I do have is Agenda 47 loaded up here, so we're gonna definitely we're gonna definitely fact check that real quick and try to get some answers on that.
Companies and big pharma, and got them to lower their prices. And together with President Biden, we've gone even further. We capped the price.
And then the thing is, too, right? If we're looking at this shit objectively and we're looking at this shit clearly, food is through the roof right now. Gas is through the roof right now. And this be the shit. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in power, are president and vice president right now. Why can't these things, or why can't we see action being made on the things that we're being told right now? You know what I'm saying? That we're hearing today. But I digress. I'm gonna let her go on.
Price of insulin at $35 a month, and the total cost of prescription drugs at $2,000 a year for seniors. We let Medicare negotiate lower drug prices for seniors. And just yesterday, we announced that we are lowering the price by up to 80% for 10 more life-saving drugs. And I pledge to continue this progress. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone with your support, not only our seniors. And demand transparency from the middlemen who operate between Big Pharma and the insurance companies who use opaque practices to raise your drug prices and profit off your need for medicine. 2 months ago, I announced that medical debt will no longer be used against your credit score.
Okay, I mean, that's not bad. You know, we'll see if that actually ends up playing out, but we'll see if that actually ends up playing out. But let's see. Let's get back into it.
And I will work as president with states like here in North Carolina, Roy Cooper, thank you again, to cancel medical debt for more and more, millions more Americans.
Now let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. All my college students. Yeah, y'all taken care of yet? What it look like? Y'all debt free? Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I'm listening. I'm giving her a fair chance. I'm listening to the shit. You know, I'm listening to what she's having to say right now. I don't want niggas to think that I'm not being 100% objective. I am. So far, I like the one thing she said about, you know, raising up the middle class, and you know, we got to get into exactly how she's going to do that. But yeah, cool. You know, making sure the middle class is you know, better off, and making sure that we have better wages, or protecting our wages. I don't really know what that means, but though, you know, to say that we're going to protect our wages, you know, we got to be a little bit more clear with that. But this right here, a promise to cancel medical debt. Let's run this back. Let me just make sure I heard this right.
For millions more Americans. As president with states like here in North Carolina, Roy Cooper, thank you again, to cancel medical debt for more and more, millions more Americans.
So she basically, you know, this is, if you're asking me, this is the same shit we heard from Joe Biden, that he was going to cancel all this debt that never ended up really panning out. So, but I'm gonna let her finish.
As for Donald Trump, well, he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which 45 million Americans rely on. 45 million Americans rely on it for health care. That would take us back to a time when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. We all remember what that was. And we're not going back. We're not going back. And remember, and this is why we're not going back, because we do remember, he tried to cut Medicare every year he was president, threatening a program that tens of millions of seniors count on. And according to his Project 2025 agenda, he intends to
Again, that's another lie. That man has already said he don't know shit about the Project 2025 agenda. This is why we got to stop doing this shit. Okay? If you go on Trump's website, it don't say shit about Project 2025. This shit says Agenda 47. Why these niggas keep on bringing up a Project 2025 and why she keeps lying, acting like this is something that he's touted, I don't get it. I'm not getting it.
Our work to bring down prescription drugs, the cost of prescription drugs, and insulin costs. Well, we've come too far to let that happen. So we're not going back on that, and let's talk about the cost of housing. So now, the housing market can be complicated, but look, I'm not new to this issue. As State Attorney General, I drafted and helped pass a homeowner bill of rights, one of the first in America. And during the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big banks for predatory lending with many of my colleagues, including Roy Cooper, and won $20 billion for California families when I was Attorney General. So I know how to fight for people who are being exploited in the housing market. And I know what home ownership means. It's more than a financial transaction. It's so much more than that. It's more than a house. Home ownership and what that means, it's a symbol of the pride that comes with hard work. It's financial security. It represents what you will be able to do for your children. And sadly, right now, it is out of reach for far too many American families. There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. As president, I will work in partnership with industry to build the housing we need, both to rent and to buy. We will take down barriers and cut red tape, including at the state and local levels.
Okay, we got to see exactly what that means, but it sounds that sounds a little bit more promising. As like I mentioned before, that is one of the things that I hold pretty close, and that I value. I need to be able to have access to the American dream too, just like everyone else. And the American dream is coming over here, being able to have those kids, being able to have that house, a good job, a great retirement, be able to go on a vacation or 2 or 3 a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get us off like that, we straight. And it's a very possible thing, but we're constantly in this limbo of fighting for basic shit that should be a no-brainer and that everyone should have no problem. Everyone who should have who works for it with no problem. But let her finish.
And by the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. And we will do that together. We will do that together. And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle class Americans, not just investors. Because, you know, some corporate landlords, some of them buy dozens, if not hundreds of houses and apartments. Then they turn them around and rent them out at extremely high prices. And it can make it impossible then for regular people to be able to buy or even rent a home. Some corporate landlords collude with each other to set artificially high rental prices, often using algorithms in price-fixing software to do it. It's anti-competitive and it drives up costs. I will fight for a law that cracks down on these practices. We also know that as the price of housing has gone up, the size of...
All of that is nice and shit like that, but what are we going to do about the immigration and the people pouring into the country who are snatching up these housings? They're getting the money, they're getting all of these things. If we don't have access to these things, if we're losing the bidding battle, or we don't even get to put in our bid at the end of the day, when it comes down to the housing in some of these places and the places that we grew up in, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? But let me let her finish.
Of down payments have gone up as well. Even if aspiring homeowners save for years, it often still is not enough. So in addition, while we work on the housing shortage, my administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home.
Okay, now we talking. Yeah, I mean, now we talking. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of shit I like to hear. $25,000 for first-time home buyers. Whew. I would hate to vote for a motherfucker and they don't got my $25,000 in hand. I need that. Yeah, we getting a good one, right? Yeah. That's a big W. If that's something that is truly something that we can accomplish and get done, yeah, that's a big W right there. I'm fucking with that, Kamala. Okay.
We can do this. We can do this. All to help more Americans experience the pride of home ownership and the financial security that it represents and brings. So that's my plan. But here's what Donald Trump would do. If his Project 2025 agenda is put into effect, it will add around $1,200 a year.
See, this is the thing. Why are you still fighting against... it's like this intentional straw man. Like, that was a good policy. That's some good shit. $25,000 for new home buyers, that's some good shit. Why are you putting this up against some shit that isn't even in Agenda 47?
Here to the typical American mortgage. He's got it backward. We should be doing everything we can to make it more affordable to buy a home, not less. Finally, there's one more way I will help families deal with rising costs, and that's by letting you keep more of your hard-earned money. Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle class and working Americans: the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. Through which millions of Americans with children got to keep more of their hard-earned income. We know this works and has a direct impact on so many issues, including child poverty. We know it works. So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. Now think what that means.
God damn. $6,000 in tax relief for within the first year of a child's life?
On so many issues, including child poverty. We know it works. So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. Now think what that means.
That's a whole lot of money she talking about shelling out. That is a whole lot of money to be talking about shelling out right now. You know? Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. We just in here.
sorry, I was late. I was listening though the whole time.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, we just in here breaking down some of these policies that she's finally, deciding to come out with and stuff like that. So $6,000 in tax relief within the first year of a child's life. That's a lot of money she's talking about shelling out. And when we don't even have the promised money from the stimulus checks, when we don't even have the promised debt relief from the student loan debts, it makes me question a lot. You guys already, for the past 3.5 years, have had the time to, like I said again, set a lot of these things in motion, or at least propose them, and start getting a head start. So I gotta still be skeptical, and I gotta still take this shit with a grain of salt. Now, as far as her putting out policy and just rating this off of her putting out policy finally, we got some good W's. We got her promising to make sure that we'll take home some more money right now. We got her promising $25,000 for first-time home buyers to put down on that house, and now she's talking about $6,000 for a child tax relief for within the first year of a child's life. So she has some good W's right now that we can really, okay, yeah, all right, I can see now some people gravitating towards that and saying, okay, that sounds good. Those things sounds good to me. Those are some good reasons to vote for her. So right now, and until I get into her policy a little bit further and, figure out whether these things are really doable, because we're listening to her right now, but we still have to take into account the past 3.5 years and what they were able to accomplish and what they haven't been able to accomplish. For the first, 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency, Joe Manchin basically shut down damn near everything they were trying to do. And he was a Democrat. So we can't even gauge this and say, okay, well, who's the Republicans on the other side? Who might block this? Who might cause, some opposition towards this? And we can't even just look at the Republicans, because you always have a rogue Democrat, one or two of them, who are gonna just sit there and sit on this policy and not move forward with this policy because they want to protect their constituents and it's like we end up getting nothing done. So I really have to take what she's saying with a grain of salt right now, but let's let her continue and see what else she has to add on to, which so far so good.
Think what that means. That is a vital year of critical development of a child. And the cost can really add up, especially for young parents who need to buy diapers and clothes and a car seat and so much else. And we will do this while reducing the deficit. Compare my plan with what Donald Trump intends to do. He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts year after year. And he plans to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits. And that's on top of the $2 trillion tax cut he already signed into law when he was president, which, by the way, overwhelmingly went to the wealthiest Americans and corporations and exploded the national deficit. You know, I think that if you want to know who someone cares about, look who they fight for. Look who they fight for.
Okay. I'm glad she said that, because we checking off a lot of boxes. Before we started this video, I said I wanted to hear something about new home buyers. I said I wanted to, hear something about, us just trying to progress. She addressed the job thing, us making money. She's yet to really address immigration. But I'm glad she mentioned, look at who people are fighting for, because now we need to hear some black policy. You've done some great things for all Americans, right? Now, black woman, we need some things that we can benefit off of. $25,000 for new home buyers, that's cool. Everybody can eat off that. $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, that's cool. We can all eat off that. But now, since you mentioned, let's look at who people are fighting for. Let's hear some black policy now. We're gonna let her spit. Let's see if we get some policy to benefit us. I see a lot of black faces behind her. Let's see if we're gonna get. And she's in North Carolina right now. Let's see if we're gonna hear something about some policy that's gonna help the black community specifically. Because one thing we have heard her say is, I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. No. And she is a woman who likes to change her tune a lot and flip her views on policy a lot. So let's see if that's something that she's laying out all her policy tonight. So let's see if this is something that has changed. Because I really need to see something. Because Asians got specific policy. Like Dr. Umar said. Native Americans got specific policy. Transgenders got specific policy.
They do.
Gays, LGBT got specific policy.
They do.
So for you, Kamala Harris and Obama, to sit here and say we're not going to do anything specifically for black people, well, you niggas must be out y'all cotton picking minds asking for a black vote. But I'm going to let her cook.
Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans. So I'll end with this. 2 days ago, Donald Trump was here in North Carolina, He said he was going to talk about the economy. I think you all watched. You know what I'm about to say. But he offered no serious plans to reduce costs for middle-class families. No plan to expand access to housing or health care. And that, actually, I think for most of us, was not surprising. Because we already know his plans. We know the Project 2025 agenda. So there's a choice in this election. Donald Trump's plans to devastate the middle class, punish working people, and make the cost of living go up for millions of Americans. And on the other hand, when I'm elected president, what we will do to bring down costs, increase the security and stability financially of your family, and expand opportunity for working and middle class Americans. So now is the time to chart a new way forward. Now is the time to chart a new way forward, to build to build an America where everyone's work is rewarded and talents are valued, where we work with labor and business to strengthen the American economy, and where everyone has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. So I thank you, North Carolina. We're going to get this done. And with your help, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
So, okay. So, we got a little bit of policy. No talk at all on immigration. No talk at all on any black policies. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Now, you said you was listening to it. I mean, what's your take on everything that she said? I mean, like I said, I feel like she walked away with some W's here as far as general Americans and generally everybody, but I feel like not speaking on immigration, not speaking on the shit going on in New York where we're from, like we're living in a reality that you can't just ignore and just come up on stage and just act like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? We need answers to those things. I would love to live in my home state and where I grew up, but that's just not feasible. That's just not viable for me. So, you know, I would love to hear her talk to these issues as well. But she didn't mention any of that at all. I mean, I find that quite interesting.
Close the board. Their side won't close the board.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? I think we. Oh, you're cutting in and out. You probably got to fix your connection a little bit, but I really think that, you know, we gotta kind of you know raise an eyebrow a little bit.
You was giving her some credit.
I wanted to be
You just start raising your eyebrow when it comes to black issues. I think as black people, we just need to stop caring for these people to do something for us. I think that's just the issue. I think we really need to take the hint that this is just how they're gonna be.
No, but this is the thing. You're running off of being black. There's no mention of being Indian black, and
You peep how she posts about her mother now. You even peep how people's posts they change. Go down a timeline. It used to be like my Indian mother. She came from this. Like now it's just my mother.
yeah. And a lot of Indians were disappointed. That's the crazy thing. A lot of them were disappointed
I think that's the
because it's like she just threw that side of her away. So a lot of people who are rooting for her.
I think the issue is really more so, even though it seems very small, but because I believe that as much as we want to say like I believe like a black person who goes through stuff like and been in the community and the culture, I could say like they could have the same like idea to want to help the culture, but then again, I don't try to put too much on race. I think like the issue with her is the fact that she started claiming to be black. I think if she never went that route, and I think it would have been more a positive response because now
Yeah, because it would give less
that
chameleon. It would
yeah,
give less of I'm going to shape shift into whoever I'm standing in front of. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, and it's
I'm gonna
not,
tap to whoever's tune that or whatever audience I'm in, like, you know.
and that's
She
not a
didn't have to do
person
that.
that you could trust because you gotta learn how to stick on the leg and stand on it. And I think just claiming to be black was the issue because I feel like both of them, truthfully, from both ends, I don't really think they care too much for blacks if the conversation is about are blacks gonna get something. I personally don't think that.
Yeah, well, she did say, as you seen in the video, she did say that she's not doing anything specifically for blacks. She said that.
I did not see that part. You gotta. I didn't see that part. Listen, last time you was talking about this woman to me, I started crying. I'm trying to
Being mixed race.
so hard
Nobody
not to let her
how to
get to
world. My issue with her is not identifying with her people. Somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do for black people? And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people. She said this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
If the Democratic
Oh wow.
can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians? Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans? Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law
Oh shit.
LGBTQs? Why did y'all pass a law only for immigrants? If you can't do anything just for black people, this is what she said. It came out of her mouth. If you can't do anything just for black people, how was it possible for you and President Biden to do all these other things for specific ethnic groups in this country
Listen,
from whose benefit no other group can take anything from? Complete contradiction.
Because I can't benefit from an Asian bill.
That's true.
I can't benefit from a transgender bill.
That's true.
I can't I can't benefit from an Asian bill. Look like what? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and this the shit that we waiting for her to say. Because at the end of the day, y'all got all that shit done. Y'all got all of that shit done. When the time came, when the Asians needed their bill done, y'all got it done. When the transgenders put y'all in the chicken wing, y'all got it done.
Well, you know us. You give us a good barbecue.
But y'all don't have to you don't have to give niggas nothing. That's why you have clowns like this. That's why you have clowns like this.
Oh Lord.
who want to shame you into voting for nothing.
With Trump, y'all need to block every last one of their asses on Facebook and on Instagram and social media and stop. Like that's just garbage.
This hiding in the closet ass nigga.
Garbage.
Can
Everybody
we be
got to
united
find,
on anything?
yeah, can't agree on a damn bucket of chicken. One person want a hot dog.
I always
Black
complain.
folks get on my damn nerves, man. Why everybody making all these celebrities making all these videos going off on Kamala Harris and stuff, and then the black men, Kamala Harris didn't prosecute you and treated you bad in court. I got treated bad in court too, but I'm with her because a vote for her. If you sit at home and you don't support her, you're definitely supporting Donald Trump. You can vote for who you want to, but don't be trying to encourage
Like what?
other people.
Not what.
Energy for Donald.
Don't sit up there and encourage other people. But you sitting up here encouraging people to vote at the time for what? At the time he made that video, Kamala Harris had no policy on her motherfucking website. I don't know if she still does at this point right now. I don't know if she has a policy up. Now, we heard a little bit.
Yeah,
We heard a little bit.
he said, but you're sitting up here right now trying to convince us.
We heard a little bit from her.
So your issue with that is the fact that he was going so hard about convincing people to vote, and around that time there was not even a discussion about policy.
There's not even a discussion about policy. You're going this hard.
You know what I'm saying?
You crying on the radio.
Yeah.
You crying. And then towards the end, you worried about, oh, she is a black woman. This is one black woman swearing in. That'll be a one black woman swearing in another black woman from a HBCU from this. Nigga, who the fuck cares about that shit? Is her being a black woman and from Sigma Alpha Theta, this, that, whatever, is that shit gonna put food on my table just because her and the person swearing her in is from two black sororities, nigga? And this is the shit. Like, this is the real problem.
Our values on things that's so
on symbolism.
Yeah.
Black people be so caught off symbolism. Black people be so caught off of how some shit looks in the symbolism of it all. Oh my God. Oh, but Kamala Harris, she's a AKA and she's a Sigma Alpha Theta, and that'll be two black women. Swear, y'all get so caught up on this little. Oh my God, that nigga, y'all gotta stop that shit.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Because what does that do for us? What is these two women being from two black sororities on the getting sworn in on Martin Luther King's birthday? What at the end of the day, what the fuck does that do for us? How does that put money in my pocket?
Check every Martin Luther King block and you tell me how it looks.
But
every
no.
block that's named after just keep this for real. Every block that's named after somebody that was supposedly did something for, and it's not to take away from Martin Luther King, but y'all don't even respect the blocks that y'all live on after somebody that went out their way to make segregation go away. But now y'all want to use comparisons talking about, oh, it's the day of Martin Luther King. Y'all don't even keep the blocks y'all live on with his name on it.
Y'all don't keep them safe. They don't keep them clean.
Yo,
they don't do fake. Like.
It's so fake. It's so fake, yo. It's so fake. I can't buy into it.
But it's crazy because niggas like him and niggas like Steve Harvey will sit here and look at you and be like, oh, y'all crazy. Y'all better vote for this woman. She black. I don't care. Y'all can call it a softball interview. She need a softball interview. This the shit Steve Harvey is saying. Oh, she needs a softball interview.
I not to take no advice from Steve Harvey when that nigga told Monique that basically you just gotta just accept it. It is what it is. That's just how we just as black people.
Cause he's one of them go along, get along niggas. Yeah. He's one of those go along house niggas. Him, Ricky Smiley, They wanna, oh no,
But it's
no,
okay.
we
They
just
that's what
doing
they
what
want
we
to
got a good
do.
situation. We's got a good situation set up down here. We ain't gonna get on Massa nerve now. We ain't gonna upset Massa now. We got a good situation going on down here. Now y'all stop all that hussing and hollering. Now Massa gonna get mad with y'all if y'all keep on talking about not voting for Kamala. Now y'all stop that now. Y'all gonna get all of us whipped. Y'all gonna get all of us in trouble. We got us a good situation here. We get one
No,
meal
you
a
got
day.
yourself a good
We
situation
get us some
here,
scraps
while
at
the
the end of
rest
the.
of
We
us
get massive
still
scraps
getting.
at the end of the night. We got us a good little setup here. Yeah, that's Ricky Smiley. That's Steve Harvey right there. That's that nigga Plies on Instagram every day with 30,000. I mean, on Twitter every day with
I haven't
30,000 messages. That's
I don't
y'all
know. I
niggas
think
just swearing up and down that we have to. And part of me be
it's
making
like you
be
guys got to take abuse to get somewhere. Like it's okay to. This is abuse. This is abuse
these
when you
niggas
keep trying to
want
tell black
you.
people to just take a certain type of treatment. We all in this whole culture of mental health and we care about child health and all of this extreme shit. And it's like, no, stop trying to tell people to accept abuse. Stop trying to tell people that it's okay for people to treat them however they want to be treated because they might have money and they might have status. Like all of that shit is out the window. You're not gonna just treat people and say whatever you want to people just because. And there are people that's just gonna call you out on your shit. Like they are the type of people. It's good for you. I'm not mad that you got your family out the hood, Steve Harvey. I'm not mad that you living your best life or whatever the case is, whatever you present us. But when the other people like us who are actually going through these situations and you just trying to just tell people to just go out their way and do something without really understanding what we're actually going through, it's just like, come on, man. Like, it's best you just say nothing. I think the people who have the power to say a lot, like I said, their voices were brought. They were bought already by a contract. They were bought by many things. And it's okay. You picked your side. I'm not mad at it, but you're not gonna go out your way to just tell people to just go do something because you're Steve Harvey. No, that shit can't. It can't go like that. You need to stop idolizing people. Like for real. Like really pay attention to what somebody is saying to you, whether it's a Donald Trump or a Kamala Harris. Like stop trying to use reasons like, oh, he's Trump because he used to own that line, he's like, you're fired. Some people be so obsessed with a person just off a small clip they seen of them and automatically want to just say, yeah, that person is good for me. No, we have to stop that. Like, we just so okay with a barbecue. I'm tired. I'm tired of just being throwing a barbecue and a few hot dogs and a burger and we play some jams and it's okay. Because
Yeah,
let me tell you something, buying that burger was still too expensive. That like there's so many issues. Like damn. We just
yeah.
accept
It don't take
anything.
much.
Like we literally just accept anything. Anything. Y'all
Yeah,
royalties. Shit. You better act like it.
yeah. They show every day that it don't take nothing to get your vote. That's what I'm saying. They're so caught up on these symbols and what things would look like, and just to say, oh, this looked good at the end of the day, or
Listen.
this is symbolic. It happened with two black and like I said, at the end of the day, what does that really do?
It
Dang.
doesn't address it doesn't address what's actually going on. And this is what I'm saying. These people, they tell you the truth. They tell you the truth and the lies at the same time. And it's for you to really figure out which one is which. So it's like, no, you saying that it's not like I could just pass a law for black people. let's say now I heard that there's this argument. I'm just saying, this is what I heard. I heard that now we're basically taking like AI bites and stuff like that, and saying, basically saying that we're putting words in Kamala Harris's mouth. Anybody who could use a AI tool is making her look a certain way. But how come people can't say the same thing about Trump? Somebody could argue the same thing and say, "Well, they making Trump say these type of things, and it's probably not Trump saying it." We could
Cause
argue
Trump
the
stand
same
on
thing.
everything that nigga. Trump stand on everything you fucking say. Most of the time. Sometimes that nigga just be lying and be like, "Oh, I never said that." And it's like, nigga, you literally said that yesterday. But, but that's how these niggas are. But
They
when it
don't
comes
do
down
it
to these
though, but
situations of
they
these
all
niggas,
do it.
Dr. Umar wrapped it up once again. The best when it comes down to these two cotton picking house niggas.
Ricky Smiley and
I'm
Steve
gonna let him
Harvey.
cook. I'm gonna let him cook because y'all don't
Ricky
understand.
Smiley and Steve Harvey. Listen, Uncle Steve Harvey and Uncle Ricky Smiley.
Not uncle.
Kamala Harris. That is their business. If Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey want to go hard for Kamala Harris, they have a right to do that. They have a right to do that. What they don't have a right to do is shame other Africans into voting for her. They cannot do that. They were wrong for that. You can't shame people into not voting for someone who has no record of doing nothing for them. Now that's where they're wrong. That's where they're wrong. You know, Steve Harvey's logic didn't make any sense. He said, if we don't vote, we won't get nothing. Well, you've been voting and you ain't got nothing. It's time to hold
That part.
until we get something. It's time to hold the vote until we get something. Ricky Smiley, I love my brother, but he was pretty emotional. He's talking about Supreme Court Justice Ketanji swearing in Vice President Harris. They both belong to Black Greek fraternities. They'll get sworn in on Dr. King's Earth Day. That's all empty symbolism. We're done with that. That's all empty symbolism. We're done with that. That's all empty symbolism. We're done with that. You have to give us tangibles, not symbols, Brother Ricky Smiley. Tangibles, not symbols. One is an AKA, one is a Delta. What that got to do with miseducation? One is an AKA, one is a Delta. What that got to do with mass incarceration? One is an AKA, one is a Delta. What that got to do with gentrification and homelessness? That is nothing but empty symbolism.
I don't agree with everything Dr. Umar say, but he cooking these niggas right now. I'm just letting you, he cooking these niggas right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn.
The member of one Black sorority swearing in the member of another Black sorority on the solar return of a brother ancestor, Dr. King, who belonged to a Black male fraternity. That's all fine and well. But telling Black people they should vote for the symbol, telling Black people they should vote for the symbol is not going to serve us, Brother Ricky. We need substance, my brother. We need substance. Medgar Evers did not die for Kamala Harris to become president. Stop the cap up. Dr. King did not die for Kamala Harris to become president. Stop the cap up. The purpose behind Fannie Lou Hamer's Voting Rights Act, the purpose behind the Fannie Lou Hamer Voting Rights Act was for Black people to be in a position to use their vote so they could receive tangibles. Voting is not supposed to be a symbol. Voting is supposed to be a transaction, a power transaction. You want my...
Do y'all hear that? I don't
That
think
was
y'all
some
niggas
powerful
understand.
words.
Wait, I don't think y'all niggas
I ain't
understand. Do
gonna
y'all?
hold you. That
This
was
is
some
a
powerful words.
transaction, nigga. This is not no play.
vote?
This is not no
We want your
play.
resources. You want my vote?
We need
We
something.
want the resources. Voting is not supposed to be a ritual. It is not supposed to be a symbol. It is supposed to be a transaction. You want my vote, we want some tangibles. If we can't get no tangibles, you can't get no vote. Steve Harvey said, they can't give us no reparations. What'd he say? We're not going to get no reparations if we don't vote. You've been voting Democrat for 93 years, Steve Harvey. Been voting Democrat for 93 years.
93 years. Damn near 100 years y'all been voting for these niggas. And y'all got the nerve to come out, nick y'all mouths and shame people for saying, you know, I ain't get shit in this 93 years, but fuck it. Let's see what let's just throw another 7 on there. Just see if we'll get something on the 100th anniversary. Like, what the fuck are y'all? What is good with you niggas? Y'all can't be mad that niggas don't want to vote for niggas. And I'm not sitting here saying, because like I said, we did just listen to some policy, but she didn't check all the boxes for me. And she's got some more things to address. But y'all can't be mad that niggas don't want to vote for that. You can't. You got to respect it.
Steve Harvey. Been voting Democrat for 93 years, Steve Harvey. How many more years you got to vote Democrat to get some reparations? The problem with you black celebrities, the problem with you black celebrities, you are the new black bourgeoisie. You are the new black bourgeoisie. And you are going out of your way to stay relevant with the white power structure by trying to shame black people into voting for people who don't do anything with them. That ended with Barack Obama. That ended with Barack Obama, the new generation of American Africans. These under 30s today, they not like the under 30s of Barack Obama 16 years ago. See, 16 years ago, the 30-year-olds of today were 15. 16 years ago, the 30-year-olds of today were 14. They were babies under Obama. They were babies under Obama. But you fail to realize they grew up on Dr. Umar Ifatunde doctrine. These 30-year-olds, they grew up on my messages. They grew up on me. So you can't seduce them with emotions. You can't seduce them with intellectualism. You can't seduce them with symbols and empty promises. They grew up under the Prince of Pan-Africanism. They've been watching me and listening to me for 15 years. You can't get over on them like you got over on their parents. You can't get them to the polls on November the 4th with no damn a Delta swearing in an AKA on an Alpha's birthday. That don't mean nothing to us. We respect Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I love my Delta Queens. We respect Alpha Kappa Alpha. So
the only way to fight
yeah, like, as y'all see, like, the nigga is cooking, but you I don't even really gotta continue it. You get the gist of it. Y'all get the message at this point. Like, I don't y'all can't be mad at niggas for voting where they want to vote at this point. Now, she mentioned a lot of Trump is gonna do this and Project 2025, Project 2025, Project 2025. This is Trump's site, and this shit says Agenda 47. This shit don't say nothing about Project 2025. Now, let's look at some of Trump's policy, because we got about 3 or 4 from Kamala. Let's look at Trump's policy and see what he plans to do. This is his 20 core promises. So, obviously, to sealing the border and stopping the migrant invasion is number 1. Because at the end of the day, y'all can call it racist, y'all can call it this, that, the third. It's a problem. It's an issue. It's an issue. We can't live where we want to live. We can't be comfortable in the places that, you know, we either worked hard to be in or we were born in. We can't stay in those places because people who are straight illegal, came here illegally, don't have no ties to the country, just come here, whoop-de-doo, I'm just start life over, get 13 bands, 20 bands, 25 bands, start a business. Like, it's a real problem. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. He's getting them niggas the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna lie. That nigga said, well, shit, all right. Fuck, we getting them out of here. Is it gonna fuck up a lot of shit? Yeah, but I don't know. Like, we gotta do what we gotta do at this point. We gotta get the shit under control. End inflation and make America affordable again. We need some more tangibles on that. Need a little bit more details. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Now, when Kamala Harris referred to a Project 2025 plan, or no, she referred to Trump's tax. Trump's tax is to do this. This is what Trump's tax is for. To bring those jobs and companies back to America, which actually has been working successfully. So we can't act like that's something that, you know, she got away a line. That was definitely a lie. And I peeped that as soon as she said it, because it was like, bro, he's bringing these jobs back to America. That's what the tax is for. The tax is to bring these companies back to manufacturing in America. So large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. So we got that at the beginning of the show. You already know he doesn't want to tax tips. Coincidentally, that was the first bit of policy we heard from Kamala Harris. And it was one of his policies right here, number 6. Okay, so defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. So, yeah, we're going to keep our guns. I'm happy about that, because the criminals are going to have them. Protecting the freedom of speech, especially on these online platforms, things like that is very important. Censorship is here in full force, and every day we fighting against it. So, you know, I like to hear that. So prevent World War III. Whew, big one. Prevent World War III. Restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country. Made in America. So that's going to be more jobs. Building an Iron Dome around America, protecting us from any outside threats, things like that. These are very real things that we got to take into account. So, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Now we got to flesh that out and see what that says. I don't want that to be no empty promises, but it sounds like it's leaning more in that area of what does that mean. So, you know, we got to see. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders. So Trump wants to go after the cartel. He wants to put them motherfuckers away. He wants to go into these other countries. He wants to go into Mexico, Venezuela, these places, whatever, and the entire, just pull this shit up from the roots. I don't know what that would look like, but I'm not completely sold on that, because that could mean more people being displaced, more people. They do it. You could either do it one of two ways: how they've been doing it, which is sending a bunch of guns and things like that into these countries to where these cartels get a hold of them to begin with. And then in return, you're driving more and more immigrants to our borders. So it has to make sense. So rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. I'm all for that. One of the things that I hated driving through my hometown is the constant wear and tear that your vehicle is going to go through just because these roads are trash. Our infrastructure is trash. So that's another thing that I would have liked to see Kamala Harris mention as well. What are we going to do about this infrastructure? We're leagues behind, countries with half our size and economy. So why haven't we picked up on our infrastructure? There's plenty of people who come in from all around the world and they see how trash our infrastructure is here. And it's at this point unacceptable that we still haven't addressed these things. We still haven't addressed it. Our infrastructure could be way better than it is right now. So I would love to see that. That sounds pretty good. And yeah, that's something that's a W for me. What else do we got? Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. That's self-explanatory. Our numbers, the recruitment numbers in the army and things like that have seen record lows, and so I'm sure if we were to ever get into any conflict, that those numbers will skyrocket. But as of right now, you don't see much interest in these professions anymore right now. So to bring the army back to where it's supposed to be, our military in a whole back to where it's supposed to be, and us not having these weird commercials about the two girls and two moms, and it's weird. Like, let's go back to let the military niggas do what military niggas do. Sometimes y'all just gotta let people sit in their fucking corners and live their life. Let the military niggas be crazy, coked up, hoorah, muscle bound idiots who's just ready to go kill some shits. Now, everybody in the military ain't like that, but a lot of people who join the military and the police force, they're fucking junkies for that shit. And that just is what it is. A lot of people go to the military for different reasons, but let those people and their culture exist without outside. Everything doesn't have to be PC. Everything does not have to be touched by the PC crowd. Let those people have their culture. Let the LGBTQ community have their culture and how they do things and what's important to them, and cancel this and cancel that. Y'all niggas cancel it for yourselves, nigga. Make your own TV channel or something. Make your own block. Chinatown has its own. Yeah, make y'all own block or something. We gotta go back to that. Just segregate motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. Keep the U.S. dollars. No, we should be segregated. We should.
I was talking the whole time, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was muted the whole time.
Oh yeah, you probably. You definitely was. You definitely was. But yeah,
I've said that before. I jokingly said that before. I was like, I don't know about y'all. I would like to know if motherfuckers straight up like, you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. Alright, you stay on your side, I stay on my side.
Yeah. We should definitely be segregated. We should have never integrated to it. Blacks should have stayed in black neighborhoods and black people. Whites should have stayed in white neighborhoods, and we should have kept it like that. So next, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. We definitely need to do that because we got so many countries. We got the Saudi Arabia dropping the U.S. dollar. So many countries, big countries with big wallets, and dropping the U.S. dollar. That's not good. So we need to get that back up to where it's supposed to be, because the U.S. dollar dropping in currency means our dollars lose value. We don't need our dollars losing value. We need our dollars to be the most, to be right up there. So we want to keep that where it is. So fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. This is for Kamala Harris and everybody touting that Project 2025 bullshit. Scroll up. Agenda 47. This is on Trump, DonaldJTrump.com. Agenda 47. Nowhere does it say Project 2025. The only place you see 2020 is 2024, nigga. Okay? Y'all gotta stop lying. Because right here, number 14, we have fight for and protect Social Security. This is the same shit that y'all said he was going to cut. He has it listed as a policy of his on his website. No cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Next is cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. I don't agree with that. I think we should keep the mandate, keep pushing for electric vehicles, and push gas vehicles out completely. So that's something I actually disagree with as leftists. So I think we should keep that right where it's at. Let's phase these gas vehicles out. It's not good for our environment. It's killing us. It's slowly eroding the ozone layer and shit like that. And we're putting out so much CO2 emissions every day that is ridiculous. The sea levels are rising. Pretty soon, and the entire East Coast is going to be underwater. Like, we got to relax. So, yeah, I definitely disagree with canceling the electric vehicle mandate. We should definitely keep that. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, racial gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content to our children. Let's get it. I'm all for this shit. Let me just say this. My child doesn't need to go to school to learn about his race, who he's from, where he's from, this, that. I can teach him that. I know where the Middletons come from. I know where my family history lies. I know our history. And I'll teach my son about my history and our history as a people. Because we're black, we're a black family. That's what we should do as a community. I don't need no white person, another black person, so whoever. Y'all niggas need to go to school to learn math, geography, science, and eat your lunch and bring that ass back home. Call it a day. All of this extra shit that we learning about, shit that's not about to help with anything, and yeah, this shit is too diluted. It's too diluted. Go to school, learn about your 1, 2, 3s and your ABCs, nigga, and some colors, and let's call it a day. My child does not need to know about what's right, or and a lot of these teachers push their political agendas onto these children's more than you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Next, keep men out of women's sports. That's pretty straightforward too. Ain't nothing else to say about that. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Doesn't really affect me. I don't really care about it. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. So just securing the election process a little bit better, making it more transparent. Nobody can be mad at that. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. I mean, that's a nothing burger, but okay, I guess you just wanted to round it up to 20. Yeah, I mean, we got some solid policies from Trump's too. Nothing about throwing no money that way, but Kamala Harris is talking about throwing a lot of dollars niggas' way. Now, I do like the sound of that. I do. I can't lie. It sounds fucking good. It sounds fucking good. I can't argue with some dollars. So, I don't know. Trump has way more policy right now. His things seem more doable. Yeah. I like Kamala Harris's approach to attack the middle class and make sure that we're getting all these things, but those promises gotta be real shit. Like, we can't just be talking about nothing. Like, we can't be voting for niggas to stall y'all for 3 years and we get half of the shit you promised. Like,
So when should we, let's say she gets elected into office, and going off the policies that she said, like, should there be a deadline that we give these people now or something?
I mean, it's not that there's particularly a deadline, because these things have to pass through Congress. They have to get approved by Congress. They have to go through the House, then they go through the Senate, and then they come up to the president.
So maybe we should be talking about people going into Congress more. If anything,
well,
the way I'm looking at it.
Well, of course. But at the same time, she can't just drag her feet on these issues, because there's a lot of things that she can do to get these things done. Biden could have did more to get the things that he wanted to do done. So when it really comes down to it, there's not too many excuses of why these things aren't, So I don't know. We got some good information today, I feel like, and it's cool that she's starting to talk on policy, but now I want to see her policy scrutinized. I want to start seeing her, hop into these other spaces, because you got people like Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance, who he's ready for all the smoke. This is him hopping on CNN. I dare you to find me a video of Kamala Harris coming to talk to Fox News during this presidential campaign, unless it's a debate.
Office that I think really succeeded for the American people. And I think that what's different about it, and you're right, Dana, it is different, but what's different about it is...
Now, this is J.D. Vance pulling up for an interview here and just talking a little bit about Trump and, their campaign run right now. But I just want you to listen and see how many times you find him and Trump talking to the people who disagree with them, talking to them about their policy, letting them stand on policy, letting their policy stand against scrutiny. And once you pull out and you come out and you see that shit holds up, it's like, what else do you have to say after that? But that's how you should move when it comes down to it. But this is J.D. Vance. I haven't really heard him talk too much. But this is him having an interview with CNN and sitting down with them.
Person who a lot of Americans just don't know. And so I think we have to remind people that President Trump delivered lower prices, lower inflation, a prosperous and peaceful world, and also a secure border. And Kamala Harris's policies have produced the exact opposite. Now, that was an easier case to make when Joe Biden was in there, because people associate Joe Biden with the policies. But I think Kamala Harris clearly owns the policies of the Biden-Harris administration, especially when we consider the fact that, as we've all learned over the last few months, Joe Biden clearly isn't capable of doing the job. And so I think that drives home that Kamala Harris really has been the one calling the shots. I mean, how could she not? I think Joe Biden doesn't really know where he is.
Kamala Harris has been calling the shots as who?
Well, I think she has to have been, right? Because if she's not calling the shots, Dana, then who is? And I do think it drives home something that's fundamentally dishonest about the way that Vice President Harris and also a lot of senior Democrats have approached this. If you remember, for months, even years, the argument was that Joe Biden was sharp, he could clearly do the job. And the minute that he performed poorly in that debate and he became political dead weight, you have Kamala Harris and everybody else trying to throw him overboard. But I think the more troubling question is, why did so many senior Democrats, including the vice president, cover for him? And if Joe Biden wasn't capable of doing the job, as even a lot of Democrats say now, was Kamala Harris in charge or was somebody else in charge? And that's a real issue.
There's no evidence that Kamala Harris threw him overboard, but
and that's a real valid question, you know what I'm saying? Because that nigga Sleepy Joe was on cloud 9 and never came back down. He still hasn't come back down.
I want to move on to something that Governor Walz has called you and Donald Trump, and that is weird.
Sure.
And it is taken off. The New York Times reports that when Donald Trump was asked about it, he said, "Not me, they're talking about JD."
I'm Millie,
So I find it funny that homie is talking about people being weird. This is the same guy who wants to allow tampons in men's restrooms for whatever reason. For whatever fucking reason. I don't know why. I don't even know why that's a thing that I constantly see popping up. But apparently Tim Walz just is adamant about us putting tampons in men's bathrooms for the transgenders. Whatever that means. I don't know.
Well, certainly they've levied that charge against me more than anybody else, but I think that it drives home how they're trying to distract from their own policy failures. I mean, look, this is fundamentally schoolyard bully stuff. They can accuse me of whatever they want to accuse me of. As Harry S. Truman once said, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. And I'm doing this because I think that me being vice president will help improve people's lives. So I accept their attacks, but I think that it is a little bit of projection, Dana. If you think about, just take a couple of days ago, Tim Walz gives this big speech. He's been announced as the VP nominee. And I remember when I had just been announced as the VP nominee, I gave my big speech and I saw my wife and I gave her a big hug and a kiss because I love my wife and I think that's what a normal person does. Tim Walz gave his wife a nice, firm Midwestern handshake and then tried to sort of awkwardly correct for it. So I think that what it is two people.
Yeah. Giving your wife a handshake is crazy. Giving your girlfriend a handshake is crazy. That's weird. Not gonna lie and act like that's not weird. That's weird as fuck.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who aren't comfortable in their own skin because they aren't comfortable with their policy positions for the American people. And so they're name calling instead of actually telling the American people how they're going to make their lives better. I think that's weird, Dana, but look, they can call me whatever they want to.
You're saying Tim Walz doesn't have affection for his wife? I don't even understand that.
I said that he acted weird, which he did, on a national stage in front of his wife and in front of millions of Americans who presumably were watching at home. And I think that it's projection, Dana. Look, I think this election should be about who's going to solve the inflation crisis, who's going to make groceries and housing more affordable, who's going to secure that southern border.
You
Kamala Harris
asking about like you got the nigga over here talking to you, and y'all talking about him like niggas calling each other weird and asking him questions about him being called weird, nigga. Like what? He probably, and this is y'all problem. Y'all get these niggas on the y'all platform finally. Y'all got somebody with the balls to come over to your platform, get you some views, go get some viral moments out of them, and y'all ask stupid ass questions like, how do you feel about the nigga calling you weird? Come on.
That she supported all the policies that made that problem worse, Dana. We're trying to say we're going to take the country in a different direction. I really think that it's important to point this out, Dana. Their entire campaign has not been about, here's our policy for how we're going to make your life better, or here's what's wrong with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's policies. We're going to name call and hope that you don't notice that we don't have an agenda. That is the entire Democrat.
And then when she did, now this is a day or two ago, but even now that she has dropped some policy, every time she does compare it against Trump's policy or it's something like, she compares it to Project 2025, which isn't even his fucking policy. And he's already said that out of his own mouth. He said, I don't even know what that is.
So whose policy is it?
This is just something made by Republicans. It was made by an organization of Republicans. Trump has nothing to do with this shit. And they keep referring back to, well, I'm going to do this, but now if Trump does this in Project 2025, we heard her say it several times in her speech about policy, but it's like, why do you keep saying that if that's not, like Project 25 cannot be found on anywhere on his site. Anywhere. And he has 20 core promises listed there. It's crazy.
Approach to this election.
They have done both. They have both policies, and they are trying to define.
If you go to Kamala Harris's campaign page right now, they still don't have a policy.
Well, let's talk about policy
positions
versus
about what they're going to do.
And they still don't. I just checked it. I did just check it. We got events. You can take action. Let's see. Donate. Well, I mean, join the campaign. Let's see. Meet Kamala. Meet Tim Walz. Take. I mean, there's nothing here about. I mean, there's a bunch of buttons you can click on to throw her some bread, but we don't have still anything tangible on policy, and now that makes me feel like,
wow,
because you can be saying one thing one day.
You would think before you start asking me for some damn money, you would have something for me. I'm just saying, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me go back on mute.
I mean, it's a little weird, but
I think that's really insulting to Americans.
You started out talking about policies in this interview, but you have been on the campaign trail questioning Tim Walz's military record. You say it was shameful that Governor Walz retired from the military before his unit deployed to Iraq. I want to read you something that Joe Eustace, who is a veteran, he served with Governor Walz, said. He said that's a lie. He said he was as good a soldier as you'll find. I'm not trying to defend him. I hope people don't think that. What I'm trying to do is defend someone who served his country. I'm not voting for him. I'll campaign against him, but I don't think it's fair to characterize his service the way they have. Governor Walz served 24 years. He even stayed after he could have retired because of 9/11, more than the country asked of him. Do you honor his service?
Well, of course, Dana, I honor his service. And I've never criticized what Tim Walz did when he was in the military. I criticized his retirement decision. And most importantly, Dana, I criticized his lying about his own record, okay? This is a guy who is captured on video saying, I carried a gun in war. He never went to war.
He definitely lied about that. I don't know why they acting like he didn't lie about that shit.
This is a guy who's been captured on video. As other people say, he's in Afghanistan.
And what makes you want to fucking... Like, how stupid... we gotta really break down how stupid you can be to have been in the military for over 20 whatever years. You're running for you're running and chosen as the vice president of the United States, and you choose to lie about going to war as if motherfuckers weren't there with you. Like these are the people.
I didn't dig deep into that, but I did see something about that going on where people who were former army people were upset by him claiming that he did something that he didn't.
You claim that you went to war and you picked up a gun and went to war, and you never did. What is the point? And I always have to sit here. If life hasn't taught me anything, it's that you should watch out for patterns. And when you realize a pattern, sometimes you gotta question it. Sometimes it's best you avoid it. Sometimes it's just nothing. But this, it's too important for you to ignore it. You have to question it, and you gotta dig deeper, because
that is a little weird though. That I'm not gonna hold you.
Here
Like,
you are
for
trying to
a
be the
grown man
second
to
most
say that,
powerful person in the world, and you are just waking up like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking lie about it. I mean, at the end of the
that's what
day,
I'm trying to say. I'm like, I'm not gonna hold you. That is a little like that makes me question like what's going on with your brain, because it's like for a grown ass person to do that, and as if
that
like
nigga's
other
like probably
people
about
don't
twice our
exist.
age, both.
That's kind of weird.
And you were running to be the second most powerful person in the world, and you
And then
just a
now they
compulsive liar.
saying,
You the type one of them niggas who just wake up like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna tell the world today? Like, what story am I gonna craft? What kind of drama am I gonna craft today? Just got soap operas just going on in your head. They just leaping out onto the page. It's like,
but that goes to show you like it is weird, even though we're things that we may look at it as small, but it goes to show you like it is weird when niggas is saying like, damn, like you ain't even kiss your wife. You hand like that's, and then y'all pride on that. Even churches, before people get into leader in positions and stuff, y'all need a wife. Y'all need to have a family. It needs to look like this. And I'm like, damn, handshaking your wife's hand is kind of like, I ain't
yeah,
gonna
it's kind
hold
of
you.
crazy.
Like when you really think about it, it is fake weird.
Yeah, it's like, what? I never dapped my girl unless we was just playing around. Like, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
So, it's crazy.
Until he was put under political pressure because I called it out, Dana. Whatever you want to call it, a misspeaking or a lie, I think Tim Walz should have to correct the record. Now, you pointed out a soldier who defended his service. There have been a number of soldiers who served with Tim Walz who have criticized him on the exact same grounds that I have, because it's not right to misstate or to embellish what you've done, and I think that's what he did.
Let's move on
They've
to.
corrected it by admitting that
Let's move on to another important issue to voters, and
Please.
that is the
Let's
issue of
get to the
abortion.
next issue.
You wrote the foreword for a new book by Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts.
Sure.
That woman don't like him.
Project 2025, among many other things, calls for rolling back approval of the abortion drug mifepristone. Donald Trump told me during the debate that
Project 2025. Once again, she mentioned in this Project 2025.
he would not block the drug. And on Thursday, when he was asked, he didn't rule it out. So which is it?
Well, look, Dana, first of all, Project 2025 is not affiliated with the Trump campaign. Kevin Roberts is a friend of mine, but I wouldn't say that.
This now you are hearing it again from his vice president. Project 2025 is not associated with the Trump campaign. Why do y'all keep painting this man as the author of Project 2025? And he's gonna cut this and cut that, and Project 2025 doesn't even say all of this shit.
Is it because that he's friends with them? Because like sometimes we can't ignore the fact that like,
It's just because Republicans made it. No, it's because all Republicans don't even like Trump. It's just because Republicans made it. Republicans from the Heritage Foundation got together and drafted this plan, this 900-page document, and which is just basically a wish list. It's basically a 900-page wish list for Republicans. Oh, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want the country to focus on that. It's a blueprint that they want to see the Republican Party and the next presidential candidate to move in. But that's not something that Trump has crafted or okayed, or it doesn't even sound like he sat down to even hear the shit. It doesn't sound like he's even flipped open a page to read the shit. Not even one page. So this whole thing, like, not her entire speech that we listened to was her basically comparing her policies up against Project 2025, which isn't his policy. So had we not gone through the 20 core promises, niggas wouldn't even know what his actual policy is. So this is why it makes me raise an eyebrow. It's a red flag to me, because it's like, why are we blatantly lying? But let's hear what he has to say.
When he was asked, he didn't rule it out. So which is it?
Well, look, Dana, first of all, Project 2025 is not affiliated with the Trump campaign. Kevin Roberts is a friend of mine, but I wouldn't say that he speaks for the president in the same way I wouldn't say that he speaks for me. Now, what?
Again, he just cleared it up right there. Homie's a friend of his. They're affiliates, but they're not running the fucking campaign.
Donald Trump has said is he respects the Supreme Court's opinion on the mifepristone ruling.
But let me just stop you right there.
Please.
The Supreme Court, you're a lawyer, so you know this better than I.
Sure.
The Supreme Court, all they did was say that what came to them didn't have standing. So they let it stand. A real question, a substantive question, hasn't made it to the Supreme Court. So my question for you is whether or not a Trump-Vance administration would allow mifepristone to continue to be sent around the country.
Well, President Trump won the nomination of the Republican Party. He said it to you, and he said it repeatedly, that his goal is not to block mifepristone, it's to let states make the decision on abortion policy. Now, of course...
Now, this is him clearing up the ban on abortion lie that we keep hearing about as well. So to clear that up, because we keep hearing the Harris supporters and her campaign keep reiterating the talking point that he's going to put a ban on abortions. The man already said clear as day, and you're about to hear J.D. Vance reiterate. He wants to leave the decision of abortions up to states and their governors, which means the people that you vote for, the governor that you vote for, in your local elections and things like that, and your state elections, those are going to be the people deciding whether there's going to be abortion in the states or not. That's not going to be a decision for the president. He is absolving himself of all decision making with that. What is wrong with you niggas? You niggas are fucking retarded. Y'all will sit here and continue to reiterate and repeat the false talking point that he's going to ban abortion. This shit never came out of his mouth. If anything, he's not going to have any power at all, as the president, as the leader of the federal government. He's not going to have that power to tell you what you can do with your body. If anything, that's going to be left to a person like a Gavin Newsom or somebody like that. That's going to be left to your governors. So we have to stop making up lies. Like what is good with you? Lord, man, about to run my blood pressure up in here, man.
Of course, that does mean, Dana, we have to be honest about this, that California might have less restrictive rules than Ohio, which might have less restrictive rules than Alabama. I think what President Trump is really trying to do on the abortion question is really admirable, and I wish the press was a little bit more honest about it. He's saying we've had a 50-year culture war over abortion, where unfortunately this issue has just divided the country, and he wants to provide some ground for us to come together, for states to make these decisions, for voters to make these decisions, and for us all to respect one another. That's all he's
on
proposing.
that issue. A few months ago, on the question, his position,
Yeah.
which you've adopted, is it is up to the states. I spoke to a woman named Kate Cox. She lives in Texas.
Sure.
She was 20 weeks pregnant. Her fetus was diagnosed with a disease called, it was a deadly genetic condition called trisomy 18. She said that carrying the pregnancy, she was told this by her doctors, to term, if the fetus even survived, would hurt her chances for having more children, which she and her husband desperately wanted. Why is not allowing her to end that pregnancy helpful or supportive of expanding families like you want it to be?
Well, first of all, Dana, my heart breaks for this woman. I don't know her personally. I've certainly heard the story, and our heart breaks for her. And we want people to have healthy, happy families. And it's extremely unfortunate that sometimes, you know, medicine, the act of God, whatever happens, just doesn't work out. And what the president has said, I think, very clearly is that He is not trying to prevent women who have non-viable pregnancies from getting access to the medical care that they need.
But allowing the states to decide, a place like Texas, which has very strict laws now, doesn't allow a Kate Cox to end a pregnancy that is fatal and could potentially hurt her ability to have more kids.
But what President Trump has said is that we are going to let voters make these decisions. And again, Texas might have a view that President Trump disagrees with. They might have a view that President Trump agrees with, but you've got to let the voters make these decisions.
So you're comfortable with that law in Texas?
I'm not comfortable with anything. Dan.
Yes, bitch. Yes, the nigga is comfortable with the shit. Yes. What he's basically telling your ass is you either go hop on across the border, do what you gotta do, or you vote somebody else in. You vote a new governor. Y'all put y'all votes to work over there, and y'all make the state how y'all want to make it. But if you're not living in a state that's like that, you can always keep your legs closed. I mean, that's always a thing too. But, and I'm not saying that to this bitch in particular, whoever the fuck they're talking about, but just to the majority who are making a big fucking deal about this bullshit, it's going to be a decision that's going to be made at the state level, which it should be. Fuck it. You already know the places that you can go. New York, Miami, well, maybe not Miami, because, DeSantis, that nigga, he about his business. He ain't playing that shit with y'all niggas. But New York, California, the blue states, Philly, y'all'll be good. It's just that we needed to hear some of that from the horse's mouth now. Again, we broke down a lot here. And it's a lot going on, but I need y'all niggas to stay locked in, cause and the next time we talk, I'm gonna need Kamala Harris to address shit like this.
I thought you was gonna say I'm gonna need Kamala Harris to the congregation.
No, I'm gonna need her to address shit like this. I'm gonna need her to address women and everyday Americans like this young woman speaking right here, right now.
President. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe. I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck. It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle. On my food truck, and he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank. But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck. I have good credit. Can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck. And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business. And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money!
Hand over
We're doing
fist.
nothing but just being here. It's not right, and I want answers.
Jesus. My heart really breaks out for this young woman right here, because how is it possible that we are over here struggling? Right now, I want to start a business. I need to get a loan. I need money, but you mean to tell me in order for me to get that loan, to get that money, instead of me being a person who is born here, raised here, on this culture, has this country in its best in his best interest, you mean to tell me I can't get that loan unless I'm a person who just walked in here yesterday?
I ain't gonna hold you. It makes me wanna, being an immigrant. I'm now a citizen. Shit, it makes me feel like I should have came around this motherfucker.
You might as well have did shit. You did something wrong, ain't that? Like, damn, I was moving wrong. Like, shit, I was over here doing shit the right way, coming through the right
I'm
channels,
like, doing shit
putting back into the economy, doing my part as a citizen, giving taxes and paying back in your taxes and shit like that. And meanwhile, these niggas is just coming over here. Imagine you sitting here working, you try to get a loan, you can't get that money, so you working year after year after year to try to save up. And we all know how hard it is to save money. Let's just be real in this day and age right now.
They make it impossible for us to say whether we like to get nice things, but they make it impossible.
It's hard for you to save money and for you to have kids and life going on. But it's like, you save money for years and years and years and finally stack up and get this bread. And here comes a person who just walked in here yesterday. They're illegal. They shouldn't even be getting this money or any type of assistance, but they're getting it anyway. And not only that, they are accomplishing what took you years to do, the span of 3 to 5 years to do, in a couple of months.
Shit.
Think about our hometown right now. Think about Spring Valley. Think about all these food trucks we seeing popping up right now. I went back home and I'm like, God damn. There's a food truck here, a food truck there. Everybody selling something. Everybody got a little stand set up. Whether they selling lemonade, a little drinks, a snack, or whatever, everybody got a little something set up.
Right.
And I had to sit here and realize what the fuck is going on. I gotta sit here and wonder, well, damn, why do all the Hispanics got businesses? The Jews got businesses. The Haitians even got business, restaurants and businesses. The Arabs.
Yo.
And it's so scarce. You walk in, and this is why you're gonna love the South, because it's so rare you walk in and see that black-owned family business. You don't see that up here. And this is the shit I've been telling people down here. Y'all niggas gonna fuck around and play around, and it's gonna be looking down here like it do back home. I'm telling you niggas down here in these rural areas in South Carolina, in all of these places where it's not as built up and people are still moving in and just steadily driving up the cost of living here as well. But what I'm saying is, take advantage, build your business, cop your land, get yourself established now. We see what they're doing in these other places already. You have the chance to do the exact same thing, but to just do it with people that look like you, in a community of people that look like you. before it gets taken over, before you get bought out, before all the businesses you look around and it's Hispanics and Jews and this ones and that ones and it's none of your people anymore. This woman is crying because she had to watch somebody who has nothing to do with this country, who doesn't have to buy into they get to live the American dream
pretty much
in a fraction of time with a fraction of struggle. So, and meanwhile, you're getting displaced, you're getting outpriced. When they when we ask for something, that what did Kamala Harris say? Oh, I'm not doing anything specifically for black people. This is what the fuck she's crying for, my nigga. We need protection. That money could be going to us, citizens, people who pay into the system. Our money is going to immigrants in the Ukraine, billions. What the fuck are we doing?
I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. That video just...
This woman is crying for a real reason. Because you sit there, you done spent half your life busting your ass, and this nigga probably younger than you. Now, just think about it. I could be a 25, a kid or two, with a girl, with a wife, getting this money as an immigrant, accomplishing what you did in half your life's work.
And forget a college degree. Forget any of those things.
Well, for what?
What
do we need it for? At the end of the day,
in debt, trying to get a piece of paper to validate that I'm allowed to give opinions. Like, this shit is crazy. And now, it's gonna happen too. Watch, people are just gonna be able to get top jobs, and it's just gonna it's nothing.
But that's what it amounts to, because not only that, because then it falls back on us, because we're watching this shit happen, but then on top of that, we're not galvanizing together, we're not coming together and putting our people in position like we was talking about last episode. We be ready for the handouts, we be ready for when it's time to put our people on instead of paying full price and building up our economic value as a people. We want handouts. We want favors done.
It's true.
And then that's when the earnest starts to fall back on us, because we don't in turn build our community back up. Well, we don't in turn put that money back into what the money stays in the black community and black hands the least amongst any other race. We can't keep the dollar in our community. As soon as we get the dollar, we're giving it to the Asians, we're giving it to the Haitians, we're giving it to this one, we're giving it to that one. It doesn't stay in the black community. And to be honest, the black community can be all black people, but we gotta move on one accord. It can't be black people and this is the shit that I don't get going on the internet nowadays, because nowadays all the internet is about FBA and I'm from Africa, I'm not black African, I'm not African American, I'm not black, I'm African, or I'm not black, I'm Caribbean. Motherfucker, we all black. So when we start moving on one page like that, that's
what happens when people took you and separated you and fed you information, and you believe this, that one believes that.
Yeah, but it's time to get back to consciousness. It's time to get back to one body moving as one in cohesion.
But I feel like we're so far gone.
We're not. A lot of the conversations we have, it may seem like that, but it doesn't take all black people for all black people to be led, if that makes sense.
When you think about it, all of our great leaders, they die.
And
Like
we don't
they
have, and that's what I was
literally,
about to say. We don't have no more black heroes. We
yeah.
haven't had a
So it
black
kind of
hero
when you,
since Martin Luther, Malcolm X.
yeah,
It don't take all of us, but it takes a few of us to galvanize and lead all of us. It only takes with the black community because we're more together than we realize. This is why black people have sat here and voted for Democrats loyally for 93 years. 93 years. Do you know how many generations that is? At least 3, 4, 5.
yeah. And it's like people gotta look at situations like, think about this. Yo, um you are the first person in your family that's probably owning a business. All those years, all those years, when you think about people you've been voting for, you're the first person in your family that's gonna own a business.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother, like that doesn't seem to irritate people. Like you gotta think you understand how many decades was before you, and to say you're the first person that's gonna start a business,
Yeah, that's facts.
it goes to show you like this thing always been meant to keep black people down. That's why I'm like, are we defeated? Because every time we see our leaders, they take our leaders from us.
Yep. Yep. And it's up to us to protect those people and to, you know, put a barrier up around those people and to raise those people up who really have the answers. Now, those people might not necessarily be a Democrat or, you know, whatever, but at the end of the day, like I said, it doesn't take all of us. It only takes a few of us to galvanize all of us. It only takes a few of us to put all of us on one page and for all of us, a majority of us, to be behind it. But the message has to make sense so even our brothers on the right can get with it. It has to make sense so all black people can get with it. But we usually do move as one. That's why I don't feel like we're so far gone, because it only takes that one person in the right instance, in the right situation, to put us all on one point. But it has to make sense. It has to be the right shit. And that might sound a little bit cryptic, but I mean, it has to be the right situation. It has to be the right person. And we will get behind them. I truly believe that. So that has been the show for today. I'm not gonna lie, we got a busy day on the itinerary, but I had to make sure I got this episode out and come talk to you guys today, and get some of these topics off my brain, and you know, just get ready for the new news cycle. It's going to be a new week. Today's Saturday, the 17th of August. So, you know, yeah, we're going to get ready to go into a new week. There's always new shit going on, and I wanted to get these topics out, and we're a little late on some of them, but I wanted to get some of them out before we start moving on and with the new madness and badness for next week. So that has been our show for today. I love y'all niggas for stopping through in the Doja Room. Before y'all go, of course, we got some announcements now. You see the album cover on the screen. First official project by your boy, Dope Boy Diesel. I'm pinning everything in this joint. I got vibes from everybody in this joint, and we still working to get more vibes in there as we speak. So I can't wait. I already told y'all about this one. It's a dope project. Nice end of the summer vibes, a little summer wrap up. And I really want to just bless y'all niggas with some good music, just as a thank you to all the people who have been rocking with the music so hard for over the years. I got that loyal fan base who stay locked in on everything that I drop and everything that I produce as far as content and music. So shout out to those special people. I always appreciate y'all. There's so many motherfucking people I haven't met. But I appreciate the growing community around the Doja Room. Also, we can't forget now. Let me just see if I can pull it up for you guys real quick so you can get the visual representation. But please check out the official Doja Room playlist. Okay, this is where you can hear most of the vibes from me, Prosperity, all of the boys, all the girls, anybody we fuck with, you know what I'm saying? This is where you can hear our music. This is where you can just hear, I guess just my vibes and the curated playlist of the official playlist of the Doja Room. So, yeah, tap into that. That's on Spotify. We also, if you feeling a different vibe, the Doja Room also has the Melodic Ice playlist. So please also tap in with that. That's 2 playlists that we got here for the Doja Room that y'all can tap in with. And yeah, I really hope y'all do that and get in there when the project drops. Of course, you can find the songs mixed in with these playlists and, really just have a good times. If you find a couple of joints that you like, of course, you can make your own playlist too. But I always like throwing in a couple of joints from the project into the playlist, probably mixed in with some of your favorite artists and some of the best tunes out right now. You know what I'm saying? And then you can always be on tune with what I'm bumping right now. I'm bumping that Kalani with all 3. It's a succession because these 3 songs right here, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. You got to play these 3 songs right here in a sequence. And I promise you, thank me later. So yeah, I'm tapped into that. We tapped into that Tory Lanez prison tapes. Nigga been going crazy. This is feeling like Fargo Friday again. And that was some legendary drops that we got from that. So we got Tory Lanez in there. And of course, my boy Fly High Drew. You know what I'm saying? With the new project, My Own Mind, or On My Mind. He got a good 7 joints here for y'all, so please check that out too. So we got some joints lingering there. That's the Melodic Ice playlist. And again, please check out the Diesel's Doja playlist. Okay, that's the official playlist of the Doja Room. We got all the good joints in there. You can see my vibe. You can see what I'm listening to. Drake, It's Up. Come on. The 100 Gigs joint, y'all know that's lit right now. So we got that topping the charts right there. And of course, you can see your boy Dope Boy Diesel up in there too. So tap in with the playlist. Y'all already know what's good. We got a playlist for every show. You know what I'm saying? For every show, all contents on all fronts. So we're not really playing with y'all. So yeah, tap into the music. You can follow your boy Dope Boy Diesel on all platforms. That's Dope Boy Diesel, no space, no caps. And you can find me on all platforms, you know what I'm saying? Pop right up on you. Pros, do you have any final comments, announcements, anything you want to put the audience onto, your ventures, anything that you're going to be doing? You can go ahead and let them know.
Well, guys, sorry for being late today. But yeah, I'm happy to show up and give my opinions, whether you ask for it or not. Um, that's about it right now. Right now, I just be on live. I'm going back into school, so my schedules are gonna change. And yeah, I got a lot of things coming along. I'm just waiting. There's something I'm doing soon, but I'm just like not waiting to announce it yet. I'm waiting till it's like up all the way completed.
So where can they find you on Instagram so they can tap into them lives, man?
You
Make sure
can
you tell
find
them
me
where
on
to find you.
Instagram at pros to my cons. You can find me on Twitter, the same, pros to my cons. Like I said, you gonna just be finding me on there, whether I'm singing or giving my opinions. I just be vibing out, and yeah.
Yeah, it's more vibes over there. So we hope you guys do tap in. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, that has been the show. Again, guys, tap into the playlist so you can stay vibing. We update the playlist damn near every other day. So please tap into that. Even if you don't know when the music drops, 9 times out of 10 you can catch it in the playlist. So go ahead, please, please, please tap into the playlist. Tap into the Doja Room podcast. You can find that on everywhere you can find podcasts. Okay, so tap into the Doja Room, preferably on Spotify. Spotify paying that bread, but tap into the Doja Room. And yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in with us and sticking with us and hearing what we had to say. It's been a crazy year so far. It is election year, so I hope y'all niggas got y'all little political fix for today. We're gonna talk about some more hip hop on the next episode because I got some topics there for y'all. And yeah, it's been a Doja Room. I've been your boy Dope Boy Diesel. All right, and this is Anakin apparently, all in my way. But I'm gonna be out, and y'all niggas be safe. Hope y'all niggas rolled one up. Hope y'all niggas got right. And all my stoners, hippies, and hip hop enthusiasts, y'all niggas have a safe week, safe weekend, and we love y'all here in the Doja Room, man. Hope you come back.